Hey, this is David, the inventor of Percoustix. Today we're going to be going over how to set these things up on the body of your guitar, and I'm going to be showing you how to set up this bad boy, the TM-1, with your Percoustix. So let's get started. When you open up the box, you're going to find two drum trigger pick guards. You're also going to find the wire harness. The wire harness has these two USB-C jacks coming out of it. You're going to need also this bag of adhesive clips and some adhesive dots. You need a stereo cable. Before you just plug that into your drum module, you're going to need a splitter so you can plug into those two trigger inputs on the TM-1. All right, first things first, let's get set up with the harness. We're going to actually attach this to the guitar strap pin. On this particular guitar, I got an enormous guitar strap pin. I cannot actually fit that through the leather saddle hole, so I'm going to use now my paracord just to tie that there. A very simple knot. All right, and now just set those wires aside. Next is the fun part. I'm going to take my drum trigger pick guards and I'm just going to decide where I want to place these. So Percoustix was made that you can fit them together like puzzle pieces anywhere on the body of the guitar. Today, I'm going to set these things up above the string, so as if I was playing a bass drum with my heel of the palm and maybe, you know, doing the snare with my thumb. All right, so now that I've got my placement relatively where I want it to be, I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit more committed. I'm gonna go ahead and peel back the liners from the back of these sticky dots and go ahead and set those down now where they were before. Okay, so we got our Percoustix set up. Now it's time to just really quick connect the wires. So I take now my USB-C jacks that were from the wire harness, and I'm just going to connect them. It does not matter which one you plug it into right now. Inside your Percoustix box, you found a bag of little clips. This is where you're going to take the black clips, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to use them to kind of do some cable management. So there you go. We've got our Percoustix set up on the body of the guitar. The wires are all running to the back here with the wire harness attached, and we're ready to now plug into our drum module. Let's go ahead and look at our TM-1. This thing is a beauty. It's perfect for Percoustix. It looks and feels like a guitar pedal, yet it is a drum module. So let's get acclimated with drummers technology. So on the back here, you've got some trigger inputs. This is where you're going to use your splitter. So go ahead and plug the red one and the black one into either or, it doesn't matter, into trigger 1 and trigger 2. And then take your stereo cable that we talked about earlier and plug that into the adapter, and that's all set. Obviously plug the other end of the stereo cable into your wire harness on your Percoustix. Now you're also going to need an output cable for the drum module. The drum module, the TM-1, has one output, and it is a mono output, so I'm going to use a regular guitar cable to go out of that one. And so I'm just going to plug that in like so. And now I have all my drum sounds coming out of here. That's what Percoustix gives you, is two separate signals. I've got my guitar signal coming out of my regular guitar jack, and now I've got my drum module signal separated from that. So I can mix the sounds and set up the sounds however I want. So now that that's all squared away, we're going to go ahead and get our drum module set up to go. The TM-1 has all these controls on the outside, which is just awesome because it's like this analog feel. But the finer things of the TM-1, you have to actually dive into the editing software that either works with your desktop or your cellular device. So I have the TM-1 editor software loaded up on my laptop here. I'm going to open that up, and I am going to click on the setup button on the lower right hand side and see all these tabs at the top: trigger, system backup, MIDI. Go ahead and click on the trigger tab, and right away the very first thing you see is trigger type. That's very important to set up. That's telling the drum module what type of drum pad are you using with each trigger input. So under the trigger 1 pull down tab right here, I'm going to click on that, and I've got 3 different options to choose from. All these letters, these different tabs, these are different drum pads that Roland makes. And we're actually going to pick the big long one here that is kind of like the generic setting. We're going to pick that one for both trigger 1 and trigger 2. Make sure it's set for that. Next setting down is the crosstalk or X-talk cancel. That's very important, but we're not going to deal with that right now. We're going to go to the next one, dual trigger mode. Make sure that that's set for off. And here we go. We're done with this tab. Go ahead and click on the edit button right here where it says play type, and I'm going to select one shot poly. Next thing is dynamics. You click this and you see linear, loud 1, loud 2, max. Click linear for that. If I wanted a different playing style, like, you know, if I wanted all my sounds to translate to loud sounds, or, you know, just maximum volume, no matter if I hit it soft or hit it loud, I would click on either loud 1, loud 2, or max. Max is obviously max volume. But today, again, we're going to do linear for both of these, trigger 1 and trigger 2. All right, so now I'm going to adjust the sensitivity to my playing feel, my finesse, and kind of give it just those settings that match me specifically for what I'm doing today. So looking at the drum module itself, the very first knobs on the left, it has the sensitivity knobs for trigger 1 and trigger 2. I'm going to set these at 12 o'clock. And I'm going to grab my bass drum here, and I'm just going to give it a thwack. Sounding pretty good. These are my hip hop sounds, and then I'm just going to kind of see where it connects with my light taps and where it doesn't, and I'm just going to adjust for that. And that right there, like I felt like it's like I could go super, super, super light and then start to build up, and it's connecting with each one of my hits. And my sensitivity right there on the TM-1 was about 1 o'clock, 1:30, you know, kind of place area right there. There we go. All right, let's do the same thing with the snare. I'm gonna raise that snare sensitivity up a little bit more. Yeah, right there, right. That was good. I like that. I'm about a little bit past 2, not quite 3 o'clock there on the sensitivity for the snare. Okay, now that our sensitivity is right where we want it, I've got it in that sweet spot for my playing style. We've got to do the next most important thing, which is adjust for crosstalk cancellation. Crosstalk is this term in the electronic drum world where essentially you could have your electronic drum set up in front of you, and you're playing one drum, like maybe it's the floor tom, and that floor tom, whenever you hit it, it's also triggering maybe the ride cymbal, which is like right next to that. Drum racks on an electronic drum set, or just even drum pads being close to each other, it's notorious for just vibrations from one pad interacting with another one unintentionally, and you want to use the crosstalk cancellation to adjust for that. So I'm going to go to my TM-1 editor software again, and I'm going to click on that setup button, and under the trigger tab, locate where it says X-talk, cancel, or crosstalk. Different drum modules call it different things. And right now, I'm just going to leave it on 0. And I'm just going to see if this thing sets anything off when I hit one pad, when I hit one Percoustix, and does it set off the other one. So I'm just going to do a test right now just by hitting the bass drum. So those are actually, from an audio standpoint, those are pretty well isolated. Like, I'm not hearing the snare drum, but I'm looking at the TM-1 module, and I can see like that the lights are lighting up for both triggers. Actually, now that I'm listening a little bit more, I can hear a little bit of that snare. So we definitely are setting off our snare pad unintentionally. So I'm going to go ahead, and I know that the snare is trigger 2, so I'm going to raise up the crosstalk cancellation. Something to like, let's try 30% for now. And hit. All right, that light isn't going off, but oh, there it goes. A little bit more. All right, let's try raising it up to, let's do 45, 47, just a little bit OCD. Here we go. And I'm going to hit it really, really hard here. Let's not tickle it. And that's really good. I got no lights going off on trigger 2 on the snare. I don't hear it audibly. It's more important that you listen for the audio, because you may get like just this very, very slight triggering of the other Percoustix pad, but if you can't hear it, then it's not really a big deal. So I'm going to leave that as is. Let's try the snare now. So the snare right away, I can see the lights going off for both triggers, but I don't hear the bass drum. I don't hear the bass drum going off. But just for the sake of making sure everything is separate, I'm going to raise that crosstalk cancellation up to, let's just say the same place. Let's say 47. Why not? And it's good to go. Okay, so now that we've got our sensitivity set and the crosstalk cancellation going, I'm just going to go ahead and see how things sound with the guitar. And I can actually hear just a tiny bit of bass drum, which means that it's like there's a little bit of that vibration from the strings that's actually setting off the drum pad, because they're so sensitive right now. They must be artists, that's why they're sensitive. So I'm going to lower the sensitivity on the bass drum just a little bit, because I can even see some of the lights going off. And I'm trying to find that sweet spot. Again, like every guitar is different, and everybody's going to place the pads differently where they want them. So the whole idea is finding that sweet spot between where I can connect sensitivity-wise with the drum sounds, but then also get it to play nicely with the guitar. So I'm just going to lower that sensitivity on the bass drum just a little bit, and it's still got that cricket leg type feel. There we go. And let's see what we got. Yeah, I like that. Good. All right, well, there it is. I've got my Percoustix set up on an external mount, so I can just kind of try things on the body of the guitar and see how I like them. I also dove into the TM-1 drum module and got my feet wet with the settings, and hopefully giving you some ideas of what you can do and getting it to work for you. That's it for today. Until next time, David signing off. Take care.